Manchester City back to winning ways and back to boring people to death. It was a bit of a, City have won again, have they? Oh, yes, we have. Yes, we have. We have won again. Yes, we have. 3 FA Cup finals in a row, 7 FA Cup semi-finals in a row, of which 4 of them have been won. And Manchester City are very much feeling like the old Manchester City. There's a long way to go, a very long way to go for this Manchester City side, but it's exciting times again at the end of the season. We've got mainstream media commentators going, and Manchester City have scored again. It's a goal for Manchester City. We've got streamers complaining about boredom. We've got YouTubers complaining about boredom. Every single rival fan like, oh, it's boring City. That old stay humble, it's gone quiet a little bit, hasn't it? Not really hearing too much about the old stay humble anymore. You know, City winning, City getting to an FA Cup final, which we still need to win, by the way, and it's going to be incredibly difficult to do that against Crystal Palace. But still, here we are, challenging for silverware at the end of the season to the detriment of our rival fans who cannot stand the idea of City having a disastrous season, yet still having a season that surpasses most of their wildest dreams. Do you know what I mean? That's the seasons that we've had in the past. We have hurt them, man. We have hurt them so badly that they have been... That first half of this season was just a delight. They were living in pure ecstasy at the idea of City struggling through that Christmas period, and we had to deal with it. We were humbled, rightly so, and it was a nice humbling in the end because now the recognition of this Manchester City side have gone on and through the same players that were struggling before are now playing out of their skins and playing extremely good football. I'm incredibly excited for the end of the season, and I'm even more excited for next season. You know, I can't wait to see more boredom for the rest of the Premier League, and let's keep boring them. It's what I live off. It keeps me their boredom wakes me up in the morning. I love it. Gets me out of bed. Love it. So excited. Kevin Keegan it. I will love it if we beat them. Love it. Come on, City. Right, let's have a look at the stats for the game yesterday against Nottingham Forest, which finished City 2. Forest zilch. XG, again, by the way, highlighting that just to quickly, were we a little bit lucky? A little bit lucky, possibly. I mean, the amount of times they hit the post, I think it was like the 64th minute and then the 68th minute and then the 79th minute. They smashed the post twice with Gibbs White. What a left foot volley that was from Gibbs White. And then again with an open net. So, I mean, is that good luck or is that just their stupidity for missing open nets and the fact that our own stupidity as well for giving them those opportunities? But Aston Villa had a higher XG than us and they lost 2-1. Nottingham Forest had a higher XG than City and we won 2-0 in these games. So it feels like the amount of games we've had this season where we've had 3 XG, 4 XG at times and lost. And now it's going the other way. So swings and roundabouts, people. I think Manchester City are getting the look we very much deserve after the season we've had with the number of injuries that we've had and the games that have just gone against us at times, I feel like this season. Through a lot of the time, it's been our own fault. But I'm pleased with the match stats. Let's have a look at the player rating, starting with Ortega. Clean sheet. There wasn't really that much for him to do. 1 save, really. 1 bit of goalkeeping that I remember. And I said the same against Marcus Rashford against Aston Villa, where Rashford comes out and it ends up in a one-on-one situation and Ortega comes flying out, makes himself big. Rashford goes round him and ends up hitting the side netting. It's a similar situation to Gibbs White where Vardiol was pissing around with it, got caught on the ball, had it taken off him, or he gave it away rather. Gibbs White nips in, goes around Ortega, but rather than Ortega just lunging at the heels or the feet of Gibbs White and potentially giving away a penalty, he just makes himself big, gets in his face and stops. And that's such an important and undervalued bit of goalkeeping from Ortega that we've seen 2 games in a row now that sent him to such an acute angle that he found it hard enough to put it in. He should have finished it, let's be honest. He should have found the back of the net in that one. But Ortega forced him wide enough to make him hit the post. And that was a big moment in the game, that was. And Ortega's involvement in that was key. I thought it was really important. Vardiol. What a header! First of all, we'll wax over we'll paint over we'll sweep that under the rug. The little mistake we just spoke about there, because that was a bad one. That was a big mistake from Josko Vardiol. That was, but what a header that was! I mean, Jesus! I mean, leapt higher than a bat's vagina in that situation. Okay, boom! Absolutely have one of them. Love that. The Premier League's top goal-scoring defender. Doing it again for Manchester City. He's been sensational for us this season. I thought he was very, very good on the ball, except for that one moment that I spoke about, but still a very, very competent performance from Josko. Diaz. He's got superb defensive numbers, as you can see there. I felt like he dealt with so many of the crosses. As you can see there, 8 clearances. 2-0 up, that's what you need. You need that when you're 2-0 up. Someone who's willing to put their head where it hurts and clear the crosses that were coming into our box late in that game. It was a solid performance from Ruben Diaz. Nunes, a steady performance from Matheus Nunes again. A couple of loose passes, I thought, in the first half and didn't do him too much harm. Thankfully, never amounted to anything from Forest's point of view, but couldn't be that much of an offensive threat, I felt like, through that game. And he did tend to keep things simple, which is what you need. Again, 2-0 up, he didn't try the audacious too often, and he couldn't come forward enough for me and get those crosses into the box and be a danger to the opposition, but he was still pretty solid and got back any sort of potential threat going the other way. He was quick at getting back. But I'm not sure why he choked out Rico Lewis either, to be honest. But I'm pretty sure that came from a place of love. Rico Lewis sliding on his knees, enjoying a lovely first-minute goal, and get fucking choked the life out of him by Matheus Nunes. I'm pretty sure it came from a nice place, that, I believe. I'm hoping so, from Matheus Nunes. Pretty sure it was. Nico, another absolutely rock solid performance from Nico O'Reilly. He was brilliant again. I thought he looked right at home at left back. Some top quality contributions in midfield too. I felt like double pirouettes in the midfield at one point as well, spinning once, 360 spin, and then another spin, and then he smashes it past the post. It was a yard or two past the post, but what a bit of skill that was from Nico O'Reilly, showing his ability, playing right through the middle, through the spine of Forest at that point he was as well. But he was solid on the left, and he's showcasing his abilities to the world right now. And it's a big question mark for the summer transfer window. How desperately do we need a left back? Because I think we do. In all honesty, I don't think we should be heavily relying on him next season, but I would like to rotate this guy as often as possible and get him into that starting 11 because he doesn't look out of his depth by any stretch of the imagination. He's been one of our best players in the last couple of months. Maybe the best player in the last couple of months, in all honesty. He's been brilliant. He's been absolutely sensational. So, yeah, very happy with Nico. So, from Nico to Rico, what a finish that was from Rico Lewis, who was very much in the bad books for some City fans, which I feel is a bit harsh this season, but he's absolutely silenced those critics. It was a strikers-like finish, I felt like, from Rico Lewis. He's composed in those tight spaces. And I felt like he looked very comfortable in midfield. And again, question for you guys in the chat. Let me know, where do you see his favourite position? Where do you see his best position? Because I don't think it's right back. I don't think he's that good there. I think he can do it. He's capable of doing it. But yesterday, in that little pocket to the right of a trio midfield, I feel like that's his home. And I'm not sure he's going to get into the starting 11 for next season because I think the summer transfer might call into question how many minutes he's actually going to get next season with the players that we're potentially signing. But still, if he plays and there's an opportunity for him to play, I think that would be his position. And he shone yesterday. I felt like he did really, really well yesterday. So really happy for Rico. Kovacic, you need to go and watch the watch long before the game, by the way, in terms of what a complete fuck up it was from me, in all honesty. You'll see that later. I've got something for you. You'll see that later. Tune in later to Typical City. But this is why I wanted him to start. The ground jewels is exactly the reason why. Winning way over half of his ground jewels, as you can see. Breaking up the play. And then it wasn't just the ability to break up the play, which is the main reason I wanted him to play, because he's got that blend of ability to break up play, but also bring the ball forward, turn the foot the other way, and take us into the final third of the opposition. Bring the ball forward, carrying that ball forward aggressively, and winning it back before doing that. It's fantastic from Kovacic, and I really think he's had such an underrated season for me. I think he's been up there with one of the better performers for Manchester City this season. I'm not saying he's been superstar player of the year or anything, but I certainly think he's such an intelligent player and fully deserved his man of the match performance yesterday. Fantastic. Got an assist as well for Rico Lewis, don't forget that as well. Gundogan, the only substitute that I'm actually going to rate here, because Nico G came on for 1 minute at the end, and then Foden and Doku came on for 9 minutes, and I tend to draw the line at 10. I'm not sure I really want to be talking about 9 minutes of football, feels stupid. But Gundogan did come on for Grealish, and he kept things simple, as you'd expect. And I didn't actually see a reason to take off Jack, in all honesty, because I felt like Grealish was doing perfectly fine. I feel like Grealish is a more than adequate player for that 2-0 up situation, maintaining the ball. He rarely loses it. Sticks like glue to Jack Grealish, doesn't it? And I feel like Gundogan came on and he just carried on the Grealish performance for me. So you certainly can't complain from what Gundogan delivered yesterday, but I still felt like I didn't feel like it was that necessary, to be honest. But still, nothing that he did wrong whatsoever. Bernardo Silva, pleased with his positioning and definitely his defensive contributions, as I was going on about in the watch-along yesterday. 3 tackles. to his name more than any other City player in that Manchester City 11 yesterday. And I felt like Silva and Kovacic, they ran that midfield, in particular in the first half. And there was a couple of nearly moments, though, as well. I did go on about that I felt like his passing was a little bit under hit here and there. There was the odd pass. I was like, I like nearly gave it away. But he didn't. So you can't complain if he's not doing it. You know what I mean? A nearly moment is a nearly moment. It's just, I still felt like overall Bernardo Silva and Kovacic, the two that were, for me, commanding that midfield. And like I said, in particular in the first half, where Forest just couldn't cope with the technicality and the ability to retain the ball. Those two, the two old guys, those two dominating in an FA Cup semi-final. Brilliant from them both. Grealish, I much prefer him in midfield, by the way. I think his central position, I've always felt like it was an area of the pitch we wanted to see him playing more often. We've got to see little bits here and there this season, little moment here, little moment there. I think overall we've not seen enough of Jack Grealish, regardless of what position he plays. But the fact that Pep started to dabble with the idea he can play in the middle for me is good for Jack Grealish's future, because, if he's got one at Manchester City, I'm not sure it's on the left wing anymore, with the ideas that we're going with fast, powerful players that can dribble past fullbacks. I'm not entirely convinced that Grealish has got a future at City if he sees himself as a left winger, and I felt like he looked really good yesterday. I was pleased. I felt like he linked up with Marmoush really well on occasions yesterday as well. And he's got a safe pair of feet, has Jack Grealish. Again, the perfect player to have on the pitch after going 1-0 up within 1 minute of the game. The perfect player to have on that pitch, especially in the middle of the park. But Blues, let me know, do you see him being here next season? And if not, how are we going to sell him? How much would we get for him? Is anyone going to pay his wages? It's a big area of the transfer market for next season, is Jack Grealish's future for me, and I really want to hear your thoughts on that. Savinho, again, really frustrating. And I'm sounding like a bloody broken record now going on about Savinho being frustrating, because he is. He's on the cusp of greatness. All the time he's like, so close to being fantastic. And yet he's so far at times as well. And it's just silly little moments. He wastes so many opportunities. 3 shots, all off target. 3 dribble attempts, all failed. But he's got the vision. You can see it. 3 key passes and he's created a big chance. So you can see the ability. It's clearly there. He's got an ability to die for that some players would dream to have the ability of Savinho. I feel like he's a bit hot-blooded. He's a bit of a lacks composure in the final killer moments, that just killer instinct where you just cool your jets, relax your muscles, and just finish it. Just guide it into the bottom corner, or just whip that cross in just perfectly right onto the head of whoever you're aiming for. He just is a bit overly zealous with his attempts in that final third. But for me, I still believe in him. That's the key point for Savinho, and this season I still believe in him. And I'm hoping to see more from him next season. Marmoush bagged the assist for Vardiol's header. Great delivery from the corner for me, and I think that's something we've been struggling with this season. I think De Bruyne's deliveries from corners have been a little bit wasteful. I thought Marmoush was very good delivery yesterday. I thought they were, for Vardiol's header, Vardiol made it a good delivery with that leap. Ridiculous jump that was from Vardiol, but fantastic. But that's why he gets 0.5 higher score than Savinho, purely because of the assist. Outside of that, I felt like it was a very similar performance to Savinho, in all honesty. Just a little bit wasteful. But again, I still think Marmoush is going to announce himself properly to the Premier League next season. I really believe that. I think next season we're going to see an absolute worldie of a player, and I don't think he's got the same problems as Savinho, because as much as he's been a little bit wasteful here and there, the numbers are great. The Bundesliga numbers, we've seen it already, bagging a hat-trick at the Etihad. This boy can finish. He can. And I feel like he just needs that little bit of confidence, and he'll get it. And I'm convinced that he could even go beyond what Savinho's ceiling is. And I still think Savinho's got a ridiculously high ceiling, but I think Marmoush is even higher. And I'm so excited to see them both playing in a City shirt next season and going to that next level. But what a win it was for Manchester City. 2-0. FA Cup final we go. Come on, City. Let me know your thoughts, Blues. Like and subscribe to Typical City, and I'll see you in the next one.
This is Typical City now. Holding up Silva.